Hi, I'm the Last Goth Unicorn, and today I'm doing my monthly wrap up. It's that time of the month, it's that time of the year, and boy oh boy, I don't know about you guys, but blink and you miss June, I guess. I feel like June was the fastest month I've ever experienced in my life. Um, but that's besides the point. I read four books this month, which is not as many as I was reading, but more than I did last month, which is only by one, but that's still a whole extra book. And so let's talk about them. Let's talk about the books I read. The first book I read was Pure Nessie. Um, I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was very fun. I was gifted this book, and I thought it was a great time, actually. For some reason, I had heard about this book, and I expected it to be longer, but I was actually quite pleased that it was not very long. Um, because I feel like if it was any longer, it would have been unnecessarily long. But this one, it was very, very clean, very good. Um, I can't say I found it as life changing as some people did, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was a fun story. I described it to my friends as House of Leaves if it was pleasant. Um, I ended up giving this, I think, a 4.5 on my my apps, my medias, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, I really enjoyed Pure Nessie. I don't have a lot I want to say about it. I think I filmed a video on it and then ended up deleting it, but Pure Nessie, pretty good. Um, 4.5. Um, the next thing I read was Titan by John Varley, and this one was a very exciting read for me because I love John Varley's short form stuff. I have like an anthology of his, and so I actually found this at a discount bookstore and was so excited because it's really hard to find John Varley stuff, believe it or not. It's not like he was super famous or anything, so I actually got this for like really cheap. Um, but yeah, I read this book and I really enjoyed it. It is about a woman named Shirako, and she is the captain of a ship that gets pulled onto a weird planet called Gaia? Gaia. Um there's some really cool art in this book, so I'll just show you. But they get pulled onto this planet, or this moon, I guess technically, and it is this really really interesting space odyssey, and we get to meet a bunch of like really interesting aliens and really interesting characters, and um I really liked how the relationship between Chirako and Gabby developed throughout the story, and I really liked the fact that Chirako at one point like literally refers to herself as being bisexual. I thought that was really crazy because this book came out in the 70s. Um yeah, I thought that was really cool. So Titan by John Varley. I actually highly recommend this book if you are looking to read an older sci-fi. I will say there is a warning that there is a pretty intense assault scene in this book that genuinely made me like gasp, because I was like, "Whoa, that's really crazy. This isn't a horror novel." Um but yeah, Titan by John Varley. I highly recommend it. I actually found out that John Varley died kind of recently and was very, very sad about that. I think I mentioned that in another video, but I will keep mentioning it because it made me sad. The next thing I read was This Is How You Lose the Time War. Very good book. What can I say? I don't want to spoil anything, but this is about two war operatives who are kind of going after each other in this kind of cat and mouse kind of game, and it is really really good. That's all I want to say about it. I really enjoyed this. I gave this, oh, Titan by John Varley, I gave a 4.5, and this I also gave a 4.5 because there were points where I felt like it kind of dragged, but otherwise this story was really 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 good. Just really elegantly told. The next story I read, or the next book I read, um, is Earthlings. And I love this book. I'm actually making an entire, um, what do you call it? Entire video about this book. I've already recorded it, and I might have fucked up the audio and I might have to re-record it, but that's fine because I really like this book and I like talking about it. So this book, I'm not going to say much about it, but what I will say is it's about a young girl named Natsuki and her experience being an earthling, so to speak. And it's really good. It's really intense. I can't recommend this book because it is so intense on certain subjects and topics that I think it will make some people feel sick. It made me feel a little sick. But man oh man, this book was really good. 5 stars for Earthlings. If it's messed up, 5 stars. Anyway, so that is what I read last month, and I am going to introduce you to the books that I did not finish, but I did start. And this is kind of cheating because I did actually finish a book yesterday. But don't worry, we're not going to talk about her until the end of this month. But the books I did not finish, I'm still working on Never Whistle at Night. I refuse to give up. I just need to get through the story. I did get through that story. I got through the story that was giving me so much trouble and I haven't even... What am I doing? Anyway, Never Whistle at Night. Still working on that one. I recently just started The Gilded Crown and I'm only at about 50 pages in, but I'm still really enjoying it, so I am working on this one. I am still working on this Irish fairy and folktales. I had to stop reading in my bed at night because I was destroying my wrists. So I have to actually sit down and genuinely read that one intentionally, other than doing it in my bed. And then do not comment that this is an entirely different copy than I had before, but I'm reading Stephen King's It again, and I'm about halfway through. Or I'm a little over halfway through, actually. And I'm really working on it. I'm really, really putting the effort in. So we'll see how that turns out. um, Yeah, so that is my unfinished for the month. And then this is what I rolled for my TBR. We'll see how it goes keeping up with all of these because I truly am just trying to dedicate this month to finishing the books that I want to finish but are more difficult to finish. So I'm trying to dedicate this month to like finishing it, like genuinely, and then also perhaps finishing Never Whistle at Night, because earlier this month as in yesterday, I literally finished Faithless yesterday, and that was something that I had to actually dedicate myself to like locking in. So I'm gonna try to finish on those, but my TBRs, if I do want to divert, are going to be Ray Bradbury's Long After Midnight, which is a nice little anthology of Ray Bradbury stories. And then Beloved by Toni Morrison. And also The Nightmare Society Volume 3, so that I can finally get this out of my hair. But yeah, that is what I plan on reading this month. Hopefully I can get through some of these books. As you can see, most of my books from last month are like really short. So I'm hoping that I finished The Faithless, which I was only about 40% into. So I read like 300-ish pages, I want to say. of The Faithless, probably like 250, and that's a lot more than I typically, or I guess that's about as much as I was reading in some of these. So um hopefully I can get through some of these longer books. Obviously Stephen King's It is like disgustingly huge, but what are you going to do? You got to read it. You got to read the books that your friends recommend to you. You got to read the books that your friends love. That is my wrap up for this month and my TBR for the coming month. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that this was mildly enlightening. I don't know why it would be enlightening, but I hope that you had a good time watching. And I hope that you'll stick around because that Earthlings video is going to be a really long one. So if you are interested in very long videos about very upsetting books that you don't want to have to read, please watch it. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Remember to stay off-putting and stay obscene.